difference in which the Metropolitan Police officers are encouraged to be themselves. So if you want to be a man, you want to be a woman, you can do either as a cop because, well, they've had equal pay for 40 years now.
All right, thank you, Malcolm. That's fascinating. I assume that the Callum/Abbey person in question receives both a policeman's uniform and a policewoman's, and each day you just decide, how am I feeling? Bang. I'll put the skirt on rather than the trousers. Unbelievable. We're told that hundreds of screws are on the road at the roundabout of Keilor Melton Highway, just where you enter Taylor's Lakes, exiting the Calder. Nobody is yet cleaning them up. All right, educational standards, apparently right here in Australia, they are falling relative to our international peers. We'll also have the share market report with Scott Haywood, Council Watch with Jeff Flake from the Monash City Council, and your calls after the news. 96900 693 13 13 32.
The latest news. See it first on Melbourne's #1 news, 9 News, with Peter Hitchner, tonight at 6. 3AW 693 News.
18 degrees in Melbourne, partly cloudy tomorrow, a top of 18. It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Tony Cardio. Police in Victoria are set to be issued with more ammunition in the wake of the terror attacks overseas. But Chief Commissioner Graham Ashton has ruled out allowing police to carry long-arm assault rifles, as is the case in Europe. The issue has been raised by Lord Mayor Robert Doyle, who says it might be time to adopt such measures in Melbourne. But the Chief Commissioner says at the moment that's a step too far.
Our elite units, our specialist units already have them, so we do have that capability. In the future, I can't say for what happens in the future, but at the moment that's not currently something that's extended to general duties officers.
British Prime Minister Theresa May is expected to raise with US President Donald Trump today the leaking of evidence from the Manchester bombing scene to American media. The BBC's David Willis.
British counterintelligence issued a statement hailing the fact that these law enforcement partnerships around the world had helped deter terrorism in the past, going on to say when that trust is breached, it undermines these relationships and undermines our investigations and the confidence of victims, witnesses and their families. So they are clearly livid in the UK, and there is a feeling perhaps that this could compromise a long-lasting intelligence sharing agreement between the UK and the United States.
And police in the UK have reportedly taken 2 more people into custody in relation to the Manchester bombing. A woman arrested earlier has been released without charge, bringing the total number of people in custody to 8. They include the father and younger brother of the suicide bomber who have been detained in Libya. Police have confirmed a Nissan Skyline found burned out at Melton this morning is linked to an earlier shooting. Several shots were fired at a truck on High Street at Melton West around 4 o'clock this morning. Police are still searching for the gunman. The truck driver wasn't injured. No arrests have been made. Ferrer Qureshi, who lives nearby with her children, says they were woken by the incident and crime appears to be on the rise in the area.
Obviously it's terrifying, especially with the kids. And a few days back, my uncle visited me and intruder just broke into his car and just stole some few things. So there is few things happening in Melton, so a bit concerned about the security of this place.
A man has died after a violent brawl at Wangaratta on the weekend. The 41-year-old died from injuries in hospital today. The 2 men aged in their 20s have already been charged in relation to their involvement in the incident. Their charges will remain unchanged pending the result of a post-mortem. After years of protests and clashes between animal activists and drivers, Melbourne City Council says from the end of June they won't be issuing permits to horse-drawn carriages in the central city. In one of the most serious incidents, a spooked horse pulling a carriage bolted across tram tracks on St Kilda Road, throwing its driver onto the road. The horses will be allowed to operate from St Kilda Road and through the gardens, but they'll be banned from Swanston Street. Lord Mayor Robert Doyle says some of the operators are cowboys. Dean Crichton, who runs Unique Carriage Hire, says the permits make the service safer.
If they take the permit away, all of a sudden, that does open the door for cowboys, and it takes all the rules and all the regulations so that we're not governed by anybody apart from the police if we break the law.
In finance news, the share market up 8 points near the close, the dollar buying 75.04 US cents.
3AW Sports for the BMW sales event, now on at Waverley BMW.
Tigers coach Damien Hardwick has no issue with the Bombers chasing his star midfielder Dustin Martin, who becomes a free agent at the season's end, saying they'd be crazy not to.
It's a part and parcel of the industry we're in, so we understand that, we acknowledge it, we're reasonably happy with where it's at the moment, and as long as he keeps playing good footy for us and for our footy club, we're pretty happy.
Essendon declared interest in Martin ahead of its clash with Richmond at the MCG on Saturday. Melbourne coach Simon Goodwin says he has a few options to replace Christian Salem after the defender was suspended for striking. Newstime 5+4.
Discover Woolworths Queen Victoria's fresh new look, bursting with delicious fresh fruit and veg today. You'll find it located at QV Shopping Precinct, corner of Swanston and Lonsdale Street.
Introducing KFC's Collider Popcorn Chicken Nugget. Over 80 pieces of delicious popcorn chicken for just $10. Now wait a minute, $10? Are you sure?
The time participating stores just stay in character.
Shut up and take my money.
Luxury has a sense of adventure. Levante, the all-new SUV by Maserati. Order yours today from $149,990 drive away. Visit zag.com.au/Levante to find out more. T's and C's apply. LM13947.
Hello, Peter Mitchell on 7 News. A push to arm Victoria Police with machine guns in the wake of the Manchester bombing. Our cameras on the spot as police pounce on a gang of suspected car thieves. And why chocolates is good for your heart. 7 News at 6. Steve's a plumber, so he's always on the road, except on Wednesday when he went a bit off-road. His insurance company told him to go to some panel beaters in Woolbook, so Steve told them where to go and called Sheen Panel Service instead. Yeah, I've had a bit of a bingle. With 25 locations, he found one close by who repaired his ute with a lifetime guarantee and got him back on road in no time. Too right. Call Sheen Panel Service on 1300 Repair or visit sheengroup.com.au.
Introducing KFC's Collider Popcorn Chicken Bucket. Over 80 pieces of delicious popcorn chicken for just $10. Now wait a minute, $10? Are you sure?
For a limited time, participating stores just stay in character.
Shut up and take my money. 3AW Traffic. Lexus of Blackburn's end of financial year sale on now.
In Ivanhoe, a bad smash on up Heidelberg Road. Outbound traffic's been diverted onto Waterdale Road due to a smash just north of the council offices. Also a bad collision in Frankston South Robinson Road and Frankston South Complex Road. You'll find the West Coast Seaway heading in from the Baldy Bridge and outbound from the same spot all the way down to the Ring Road, right down past Corrie Creek Road. The Ring Road also is very heavy from the Western Harbour to Kilmore Park Drive. So the Tullamarine Freeway stretches right out to the airport, and that's 3AW Traffic. Flight Centre's amazing Asia airfare sale is on, like Hong Kong flight return from $677. Call Flight Centre now on 131600. 4:06. I'm Caroline Ferguson.
3AW weather for ENS. May mega sale on now.
Cloudy with a chance of showers this afternoon. Tomorrow partly cloudy, a top of 18. Saturday possible late shower, 18. Sunday showers easing, 15. Monday partly cloudy, 15. Tuesday a shower or two, 15. And Wednesday partly cloudy and 17. It's 16 at Mooney Ponds, 17 at Vaughan Ponds. In the city, 18 degrees. Tony Tardio, Melbourne's own 3AW.
This is Tom Elliott on 3AW 693.
It is 4:08 in a moment, so we're going to talk education, or possibly the lack thereof here in Australia. The Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, says that we are slipping down the international rankings. I've also got a pub test question for you. I'll explain that in a moment. First, some emails, private3aw.com.au. regarding the decision by Ben & Jerry's ice cream company to ban people from having 2 scoops of the same ice cream in one cone until marriage equality is achieved in Australia. Megan says, why would you want to have 2 scoops of the same flavour? Isn't having 2 different flavours the point of having 2 scoops? Well, I don't know, Megan. I mean, that's what I always thought growing up, but I think some people, like my daughter, just see it as a chance to have more of their favourite ice cream.
Simone says, Tom, you should marry for love. Hang on a second, I'm gay. I'm not allowed to get married. Thank you, Simone. And Edith says, if you marry for money, you earn every cent. And she says she's quoting the wise words of Dr. Phil. Right, 96900 693. Just quickly, does this pass the pub test? Now, Stav has sent us an email, a Council Watch email, councilwatch@3aw.com.au. He's got hold of the quarterly declaration of councillor expenses for the city of Moonee Valley. There's a couple of real shockers here. For example, a year ago, between 1st of April and 30 June 2016, the Mayor of Moonee Valley Council, Andrea Suraci, spent $1,600 in 3 months on mobile communications. So over $500 a month. She also, in that period, spent almost $5,000 on transportation. Not to be outdone. In the December quarter last year, between the 1st of October and 31st of December 2016, Councillor Jim Cusack, also at Moonee Valley, spent a whopping $2,375 in 3 months on mobile communications. That's $800 a month. Now, my worst ever mobile phone bill was about $150 in a month. Now, these councils at Moonee Valley are spending $500, $600, in some cases $800 on mobile communications. And when I say they are spending, they are in fact not spending their money, they are spending the ratepayers' money. Does this pass the pup test? Let me know, 96900 693 13 32. I mean, the mind boggles. I don't even know how you can spend almost $800 a month on your mobile phone. You have to have the whole thing with games and apps and Netflix videos and everything going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on a pretty limited mobile phone plan. Anyway, we'll talk more about that with Councillor Jeff Lake from the Monash Council later on this hour. Tom, good afternoon.
Oh, good day, Tom. Thanks for giving me a chance to chat about educational standards. Been a teacher for a long time, over many years. Australia's in the 17th year of decline in literacy and numeracy standards. The main reason is you will not hear it talked about because it's a sacred cow. But what do you think is the correlation of the last 17 years and now?
Increased use of technology, mate?
Yes, that the increased use of entertainment technology brought into school, robbing critical time to learn, putting the books on devices, screens are read differently than books, the information doesn't go in, it affects numeracy, because literacy don't have their place, but there's no research worldwide, Tom, no research worldwide that indicates you can improve your results by removing books, and they've done it en masse. This is a huge issue. It's the elephant in the room, and no one will look at it. Teachers will tell parents to adopt privately. Please be careful of the way they use technology. It is an epidemic, and it needs urgent studies. And if people want to know the main researchers in the world looking at it, I'm happy to tell people offline.
I'll tell you, Tom, thank you for that. We'll get those details from you. We'll stick it on our Facebook page. Thank you for that. So the Program for International Student Assessment carries out these comparisons between students in different countries. And it's quite clear that, especially since 2009, in the areas of science, reading and maths, the achievement of Australian students appears to be going downhill. I mean, there's other conclusions like the higher up you are on the socio-economic ladder, the better you do, that girls tend to do better than boys at a young age in reading, that Indigenous students tend to lag behind non-Indigenous students. But the international comparisons are the ones that worry me. Joining us on the line now, founder and director of Real Schools. He's an education expert and a former principal. Adam Voigt, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Tom.
Look, I mean, there's a lot of studies, and these PISA ones are only one of them, but do you think Australian students are falling behind their international peers?
Well, we'd certainly be foolish not to look at these results and go, do we or do we not have a problem? And the short answer is we do. If we're falling close further and further behind by these tests, then we have to say, okay, what could that all be about? And so first of all, I guess the thing we need to do is to just get our heads straight around what PISA does, and it really separates in a pretty broad way that math, science and reading thing. So we need to dig a little deeper to find out what that's all about. So with our math stuff in particular, if we had kids who were able to apply math more successfully, which means they're able to actually use it for problem solving, we'd find that our results would shoot straight up.
Yeah, it's interesting because PISA also points out that, you know, only a minority of students, for example, can, you know, understand a pay slip, for example. They struggle with financial literacy, which is a practical way of using maths.
The practical application of a basic building block. So what we have is kids who are incapable of actually applying the math. So the more we sort of go back to this conversation about back to basics, that's fine. But what we need to do is to not drill kids who already have the basics, but actually get them applying it at a much higher level.
So what's changed though, do you think? Have we stood still and other countries are getting better, or have we changed something like Tom just rang before and said we rely too much on technology now? What do you think's changed?
There's been a multitude of things that have changed, and the first is, I guess, if we were to go and scrap our complete education system and start over again with got down, because there's too many of those multiple factors that are impacting our decline. So one of them, for instance, is that we mentioned about before about socio-economic inequity. We wouldn't actually build a system that further entrenches that. We would look at systems that don't have that sort of inequity in their system. We look at countries like Finland, which are often held up as the poster child. Well, what they do is they treat education a bit less like a marketplace to be competitive. They treat it more as a social and economic necessity and say, how can we instead of making our teachers more accountable, which drives a lot of the really good ones out of the profession, we say, how can we help them? So one of the fundamental things that we could really do that would make a difference in our country is to turn around the status of teachers so that people who achieve really well want to go and do that job.
Okay, now there's another issue. You mentioned teachers here. I mean, you know, I'm amazed that there are universities out there that will offer teaching degrees, and you can actually finish in the bottom 50% in some cases of your high school year, and you'd still be allowed into teaching college. Should we rethink that?
Yeah, it's a horrible situation that we have here where teaching has become so unpalatable to people that we have to take people who are not performing at the level they should. So I would contend that one of the things that we really need to address to improve our educational rankings internationally is we have to make teaching aspirational again. So we need to support our teachers, we need to train them properly for the stuff that really makes a difference in the classroom. A lot of these kids are coming through without the basic building blocks because teachers don't know how they're going to actually make great learning happen in the classroom because of student behaviour. So how do we actually help them to understand how to do that really well? And that goes to the idea that some of these PISA rankings, we can look at them on their own, but there's a lot of stuff affecting. So 2015, for instance, PISA started to test and assess student well-being as well. And Australia, what we find, leads the world in bullying and anxiety. So that's going to affect our maths results. So we have to look at some of those conditions to get a better result.
All right, thank you, Adam. Adam White, founder and director of Real Schools. He's a former principal. So there's a lot there. I mean, bullying more rife in Australian schools than international schools. Over-reliance upon technology, underqualified teachers. We've got an off-air word in the street here. It's a serious one. I mean, Simmons Stadium has just been evacuated ahead of tonight's big clash between Geelong and Port Adelaide. We're hearing that there are fire trucks on the scene. We are chasing details. Ellen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom. As a former secondary teacher, we were taught to attain a level. We taught to that level. We did our best to bring everyone up to that level. And I collided with, we had exams too, I collided with the new culture of teachers coming through that it didn't matter, all children who tried to pass. I'd said, no, I will help you pass, I'll do everything I can, you will reach this level in English in Year 9 and you'll go on.
So you're saying that it's fashionable now to everybody, whether or not they've actually...
Well, I don't know how they do structure it now. This was a while ago, and I noticed the change coming through. In the end, I couldn't reconcile what I thought was the right way to teach with what and I finished up with something else. And I do wonder whether this is happening in a lot of other areas.
Well, thank you, Alan. That's interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, we have this issue with kids' sport these days where every child is given a participation ribbon and everybody's equal, and they don't have scoring in junior football games because you don't want the losing team to feel bad. Maybe that's spilling over into the classroom as well. I mean, that, if you say to everybody it does not matter how you actually go, you will all pass. That is guaranteed to reduce standards, no doubt. So I'm thinking that it's weird if we do that. On one hand in Australia, we are obsessed with sport. We love knowing who's winning, who's losing, who's better, who's not so good. We have no problems with that. We have no problem saying that, isn't it great that Hawthorn's down the bottom of the ladder and that, teams like the Bulldogs have only ever won one flag until last year suddenly moved up to the top. We have no problems with that. And yet, when you say to kids that, it's not about winning and losing, it's everybody's the same, everybody's equal. Well, it's not like that. Now let's take
give it a call. Just remember, if you're listening to us all around rural Regional Victoria by the Ace Radio Network, you can join the conversation as well. I love getting your calls. 13 is the number to call. We've got Finance and Strong Hayward ahead. Council Watch with Jeff Blake. And your calls right now. It's 18 past 4.
Good morning, Neil. First, the security issue. Talk to the decision makers. I'm happy enough for the Chief Commissioner on the spot here. Do we now need to think about arming our police with long arms? That is, with semi-automatic weapons. And break the news. Chief Commissioner will be here after 9. That matters to you. Graham Ashton, good morning. Yeah, good morning, Neil. Neil Mitchell's decision makers. So have you given consideration to long arms? Yeah, regularly, because of all these events around the world. On 3AW Line 3. If you're ever going to step up into a brand new restaurant, now the latest wonderful answer here event is on now. Less of the Blackbird with sharp driveway incentive. Less of all, don't limit us high. Just forget my new RX200T Luxury. Now, a sharp 78 AAA driveway. Make your way to Less of the Blackbird before 1:30. 126 Westwood Road, Less of the Blackbird.com.au. Always give us the LACT 11193. Signature Bespoke. Tailored suits individually made and cut to order. Note there's the special fitting event. First, second, and third in 2 custom-made suits and 2 shirts for just $850. Visit signaturebespoke.com.au to make an appointment.
Hi, it's David Mann, and I'm here with Jeff Bloom, Executive Director of the VACC, automotive specialists that are experts in their field. Now, just look for the orange and blue signs. They're everywhere. And Jeff, will choosing a VACC member affect my new vehicle warranty?
No, it won't, David. VACC membership covers independent repairers and dealerships. It's really down to the consumer about where they want to get their car serviced and repaired. The important thing is they go to a VACC member in the notion and the confidence that they've got the information that they need to repair their car properly.
And what's VACC doing now to provide motorists with excellent service way into the future?
David, VACC looks after 500 automotive apprentices. We're one of the biggest employers of apprentices in this sector in Australia. This is about making sure that we've got competent people who can safely repair your car into the future.
It makes privilege and that's why the young apprentices. For peace of mind, find a VACC automotive specialist at vacc.com.au. VACC, you're in good hands.